with Arizona State men's ACHA Division I Ice Hockey. Hello, I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside my partner Niall Cooper. As tonight, Arizona State is back home after 10 road games, as they'll be hosting the #9 University of Nevada Las Vegas Rebels. As my partner comes in now, Cooper, Niall, both teams ended up playing last month, and it was a tight, contested fair in Las Vegas.
It was. I think ASU came in and played a good road game, and they tried against a good UNLV squad. I mean, this is a team that isn't to be trifled with whatsoever, and they played 2 road games in UNLV. That's a good atmosphere. I mean, we've seen what the Vegas hockey team has done out there. They've stirred people up, and they love hockey. And ASU put in a good effort. They lost both games 5-3, then 4-2, but they left with some good lessons that they were able to continue with on a long road trip.
Yeah, definitely, especially in that weekend, too. Even ASU had the lead in some parts of the game and definitely showed, as Bronson Moore, who's going to be starting tonight for Arizona State, played a great 2 games there down in Las Vegas. And for UNLV, they're coming off their first loss of the season. 2 weeks ago, they went on a road trip to Salt Lake City and faced the University of Utah Utes and ended up going 1-1.
They did, and that was a tough one for UNLV. They hadn't played a ton of games yet this year. They've had a few weeks off, so to take that first loss against Utah, especially on the back end, is going to be challenging, and they're going to want to come out tonight and really press the issue against Arizona State. And if they're going to press the issue, they're going to do it with their top scorers. You want to listen for the names Woodward, Williams, and Kazipski. These 3 guys have combined for over 30 points each, and there's a big drop-off in scoring after each of the 3 of them. So for ASU, you're going to be looking at those guys all game long.
And for Arizona State, it's going to be interesting. They just came off their road trip in Colorado. They ended up going 1-2, but had a good feeling in their mouth after the end of the last game, as they ended up defeating Colorado State.
They did, and it was their first road win of the season, which was big coming off of a 10-game roadie. They had a lot of tough tests while they were on the road since the last time we were here at Oceanside. And if there's one thing ASU has going for them right now, it's the depth scoring. I mean, you see it's a stark contrast from UNLV, because on the UNLV side, the Rebels have scoring at the very top. ASU, it's very spread out. They're led by Levi Holston, only 8 points on the year, but that shows his 8 points that really transcends down the roster. And especially right behind him, maybe the best combination ASU has had in years, the Jet and Yager Larson brotherly combination. They showed a lot of chemistry, looked really good. Those might be the guys that light up UNLV tonight if ASU is going to get the win.
Well, folks, buckle up, as we'll have starting lineups and the national anthem coming up next here on Arizona State Hockey YouTube.
Hello, everyone, and welcome and thank you for tuning in tonight on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. I'm Brett Vaughn, alongside my partner, Niall Cooper. We'll be able to get underway here in Tempe. We'll have our starting goaltenders tonight. For the Arizona State Sun Devils, it'll be number 1, Bronson Moore. Moore, 5'11", 165. He's 3-5 on the season. He lost to Colorado Boulder over the weekend, 3-0. He has a .326 goals against average and .861 save percentage. For UNLV, it'll be number 29, Ben Gebesret from Aldergrove, British Columbia, 6'1", 210. He is 3-0 on the season with a 2 goals against and a .778 save percentage. It'll be Levi Holston for Arizona State in the draw. UNLV went in and picked that one up. That'll be number 12, Jake Sack from Montreal, Quebec. Basil Asaf will try to make a pass, and that goes all the way down, but no icing on the play. For Arizona State, it's number 27, Jack York. He'll try to clear that one out. That puck was sent in by Asaf and easily gobbled up by Bronson Moore. UNLV on a little bit of a layoff. This is their first game in a couple of weeks, so they're definitely fresh. Draw one by Holston. That'll be rimmed around by York. Still stuck up there on the blue line. UNLV will possess it again. It'll be Basil Asaf from Rancho Cucamonga. He'll make a nice play, and it'll be Pearson streaking in and dumping in the corner. He lays a hit on the captain, Zachary Kowalchuk. It'll be broken out by Arizona State. Jet Larson will dump it all the way down, and the Sun Devils will go for a change. Chase Toronto from Edmonton, Alberta behind his net. Toronto, backhand pass over to John Moeller. Moeller trying to gain the zone, and he'll be offside.
And Brett, we're about 1 minute exactly into this game, and I'm encouraged by the start we've seen from the Sun Devils so far. This is their first game back home in quite a while, and they've showed a lot of jump early, as have the Rebels. And as we talked about, the Rebels trying to get that road win coming back in here after the loss to Utah. You have to watch that first line. They showed a lot of jump.
Trebrichette will leave that behind his net for his defenseman. Now that'll be Trevor Preversov from Colonia, British Columbia. That puck is centered in for UNLV, just out of the reach of Jared Turcotte, and will go up into the stands. Now, what you were alluding to earlier in the broadcast with both of these teams playing last month in Las Vegas, and there were 2 tight contests.
They were. That first game, UNLV put up a 5 spot on the Sun Devils, and then managed to get that 4-2 win in the second game. And I think the Sun Devils learned a lot about UNLV, especially the speed. This team isn't going to completely wow you with their physicality, but man, will they skate.
Icing will be waved off. UNLV trying to withstand that forechecking pressure of Arizona State, and they do, coming through the neutral zone. Kazubski will chip that in on the backhand. Skating up for UNLV, they'll be trying to be centered, and that's blocked away from Bronson. Jared Studioso gains the red line, and he'll chip that one in as the defensive pairing. Will go for a change. Will try to be picked up by Larson, won't be able to get there. Backhand pass for UNLV, and that'll be chipped in as the Rebels will go for a change. 17:40 in this first period, and it's 0-0. Kowalchuk having some trouble trying to get it out of his own end. Pretty messy so far. Not either team can be able to get really any possession going. Zach Lawson on the backhand trying to center that one that goes behind the net. Picked up by Connor Deneen for Arizona State, but he'll lose it. Kowalchuk on his forehand side will try to tight turn it and backhand up around the boards. The turnover, Tristan Mayer trying to center that one, and that's blocked away by York. Point shot, and that's blocked for Arizona State by Jacob Lester from Scottsdale. Still kept in as So that was a defenseman, Eric Williams, able to take that hit from Austin Palumbo of Arizona State. Palumbo will gain the red line. I'll try to chip the one in as the Sun Devils will go for a change, and really sloppy here in the first few minutes.
It's been extremely sloppy, but ASU was under a lot of pressure, especially when Asaf, number 25, the defenseman for UNLV, stepped up. He got in. Palumbo didn't notice him as that third man high, and the righty looked like he had a dangerous opportunity. Luckily, the Sun Devils were just able to avoid it.
Gavin Klein with some speed, trying to find Holston. That'll be turned over at the neutral zone. Oh, and a big hit. As that was the assistant captain, Bradley Budman, right there in center ice. Just out of reach of the turnover. A pass, oh! And it was taken away, luckily, by Bradley Budman, as it was a golden chance for Cameron Fink for UNLV. Surprised he was so close, he didn't decide to pull the trigger.
A great opportunity for Cameron Fink right after he got nailed in the neutral zone by Budman for Arizona State. He had that on the back door, but the aforementioned Budman, a great play to skate back and deny the opportunity on the back post.
Chase Rondo trying to weasel his way in. That'll be cleared out to the neutral zone by Jet Larson. Puck will be skated up by Jet Larson through the middle. Larson weaving his way around the UNLV player, will get his shot blocked and roll into the corner. Studioso trying to go D-to-D with his partner Demon. Can't get it through neutral zone though.
Now it's been a little sloppy here early, Brett, but I have to say I really like the communication from Arizona State. We saw it in that second game against DCU in their last homestand. They kind of missed some communication at times, and it really seemed to hinder them. And they really fell behind in that game pace-wise. And right now I love the start. The communication is what's going to help them establish that front foot and get on it early.
Sean Polonsky will wheel around. Has some trouble handling. He gets it right back, though. Polonsky, backhand shot, and that's over the net. Jared Turcotte plays it up to the point to Moeller. Moeller tries to get to that shot through, and it'll go wide. Jared Holler for Arizona State. He coughs it up, though. That shot on. Moore kicks it out. It's going to be a quick turnover again. UNLV trying to capitalize this. Kazubski up to the point. Shot on. Monroe was able to fight that off. Another shot. That was just going wide. It looks like Kowalchuk's stick is broken for Arizona State. He'll use his hands, though, and try to play a little soccer with it, having a hard time as he's looking for a teammate to help him. Shot that's redirected right on. He scores! Kazubski, it fell him right in front. And UNLV has their pressure paying off for him as they get the 1-0 lead.
And defenseman Eric Williams was in on that play as well, off of the wall. Arizona State was scrambling a little bit in their own end and managed to get that in front for UNLV and get the early goal. UNLV right now lead on the shot clock too, and it seems that ASU is just having a little bit of a tough time with that speed. They're coming in really hard on the forecheck. ASU isn't able to connect that first pass, from the defenseman into the man in the neutral zone, and it's really making them have to think twice about the way they're breaking out, and just a little perplexed right now.
That was Joe Kazubski, and that's his third goal of the season, the University of Nevada, Las Vegas native. Getting to play for his hometown team. Even on that play, too, was definitely an ill-timed play as Kowalchuk ended up losing his stick, but there has to be some communication in front because that man was wide open in front as Kazubski had all day. Be the leading goal scorer for Arizona State, Levi Holston in the circle. Holston tries to dig it out. Quick shot on there from Jet Larson, and that's saved easily by Jess Frechette. Come over to the half wall. UNLV will fork it out of their own zone. It'll be Asaf. Asaf will rim it on the left-hand side. Moore will stop it behind his net. Plays it back around, but again, it's another turnover. As UNLV is trying to capitalize, they do. It's Victor Brass. Brass tries to center that one. That was a good stick that time by Holston. Interesting, really international group of players for UNLV. A lot of players have come from Canada, and even, as I mentioned earlier, Brass from Sweden. Puck will go up into the Arizona State bench. We'll have a stoppage in play.
And you wouldn't think that a California native would seem that otherworldly. But how about Rancho Cucamonga? First time I've ever heard of that place.
Puck will be dropped, and that was won by Jared Holler. Again, it's turned over in the Arizona State end. So that'll be Jake Sachs trying to get a shot, and that was a good stick by Holler to have a nice recovery. It's a quick up play. UNLV has a 3-on-2 developing. Comes over to Sachs. Sachs just losing it behind his net, trying to put up to the center. Adam Havner got a stick in the way. Holler trying to get the one out. And that's just almost kept in by Chase Toronto, but it got caught up in his skates, and he wasn't able to do it. Puck's turned over. Is having trouble to handle that one was Kenneth Miller for Arizona State. Gets picked up by the Rebels. Cameron Fink, he kicks it out wide. The shot on that goes wide as that was a slap shot by Jonah Pearson all the way down as Arizona State will get a free change.
And a great shift there for UNLV, number 12, Jake Sachs, the junior. And Brett, while we're talking about all the international talent that they have on this team, it certainly helps when you have somebody coming from Montreal, Quebec, the home of hockey up in Canada.
Turcotte plays it over to one of his defensemen, Cody Williams. Connor Hetzel, the Eagle River, Alaska native, will play the puck up for his teammate. Nice silky move by Thomas Harrison. Harrison, a wrist shot on right into the crest of Moore, and he'll save it. Coming into this game tonight, Arizona State is 6th in the Western Collegiate Hockey League with a 2-4 record, but an ugly number to see, a -13 goal differential.
Yeah, that's certainly not something you want to be sporting early in the season, but I think it speaks a bit just to the chemistry that this team is developing on the fly as they start. There are not very many returners for the Sun Devils from last season, and they're just trying to figure each other out right now.
Bradley Butman will try to set up a controlled breakout out of his own zone, but he can't, as it's a good job by John Moeller trying to deny him. Under some pressure is trying to be Alexander Demon, trying to create that turnover, unable to. Budman. He plays a quick up play up to Garrett Amaya. Amaya will dump that one in. Dress-Burchette tries to get the one over. Yes! And it was a quick turnover as it was Dress-Burchette trying to play it behind his own net. Ends up getting redirected in front by Hoffenkamp. And Arizona State, just like UNLV did, creates a turnover on the forecheck, and it's 1-1. Quick turnover. Couldn't see who was on that half wall as it was Jespershett blindly backhanding that one around his zone and ended up being redirected right in front as it was Hoffenkamp.
And that's never a play that you really want to make as a defenseman, is to make a blind backhand pass in your own zone. And a great job to capitalize for Arizona State and build a little bit of momentum in this game as we see the crowd just starting to fill in time.
That was a good play as Timothy Hoffenkamp, he adds to his tally his second goal of the season. UNLV had a great chance there. As you always got to be very careful, especially a big momentum play right after a goal, to be ready for that next shift. And that's gloved by Jespershett.
And you certainly saw they were ready for that next shift right here. This is turning into a bit of a track meet, Brett.
Really interesting. As again, I was saying, a carbon copy of what we saw with Arizona State giving up that first goal. It was, again, a good forecheck, led to a turnover.
Yeah, and, you know, they say teamwork makes the dream work. Well, you have to forecheck as a team if you're going to win, and that forecheck really paid off.
Draws one by Arizona State. It's pinned to the zone as Holston's trying to figure it out. Kazupski, as the forward, will chip it off the glass as we'll go into the Arizona State zone. Studioso gets hit there. As there's an errant pass by Kenneth Miller, will go all the way down for an icing play. Shots are getting a little more even as Arizona State is Now almost evened it from 4 to 5. It'll be Holston and Tristan Mayer in the offensive zone for University of Nevada, Las Vegas. Both centers are on their strong side. It'll be interesting to see what method they're going to use to be able to win this draw. Draw one by University of Nevada, Las Vegas. That was a good defensive play by Jet Larson. He's off to the races. Larson trying to get a quick shot on as it was the only man for Arizona State as his line mates are trying to get a change. Nice breakout play. It's a 2-on-1 opportunity for UNLV as it's asked out of the reach for Victor Brass because he couldn't handle the pass from his line mate Zach Lawson.
You saw Hoffenkamp racing back on that one as it was the assistant captain York just caught out of position a little bit. A great stretch pass seamed right down in front of the penalty box.
UNLV having a little hard of a time trying to get their own end. It's a quick turnover play. It's a nice pass from Kowalczyk. He finds Demon. Demon, a wrist shot, and that goes off the crossbar. That track meet style is almost coming to fruition as it's back and forth now. Puck still stuck on the blue line as Sachs will just lightly dump that one in, and Kowalczyk will wait for recruitments to come off the bench. York. Play that up to Yager Larson as he'll chip that one in. Backhanded around the UNLV zone. It's Harrison. Harrison on his backhand side will chip it off the glass. Garrett Brown will clap that one back in. 8:20 in this first period. It's 1-1. Thank you for joining us tonight on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Arizona State in the offensive zone trying to go to work. Comes to Adam Havner trying to center that one. Puck's bouncing around. Havner on his backhand. Cycling up. He'll cycle it down to Palumbo. Palumbo trying to win the race against Thomas Harrison, and he'll get thrown down. Jake Sachs, it could be a 2-on-1 opportunity. Sachs trying to center, and that was an errant pass as he was trying to find his line mate Pearson. Man, just missing on the connection because Pearson was wide open right in front of the net.
Sachs showcasing his world-class speed. Got in and created that 2-on-1 for Arizona State. And at the other end of the ice, had that great opportunity provided from Demon, a la Adam Havner, cutting in on the forehand and ripping one off the bar.
Almost a lazy play trying to put it in. Jacob Lester did not gain the red line, and it goes for an icing call.
And as I just mentioned, Brett, it was Havner. He's the second leading scorer on this team. Not somebody that you would have thought after last year of the few returners to come in and really showcase that offensive talent, but he put in a lot of work. He's got that big hockey IQ, and he put a lot of work in the offseason to boost his offensive game. And Demon, I think, was just taking a little something out of Havner's notes right there when he cut in to the forehand and ripped that shot. A great opportunity for ASU went begging.
Yeah, Havner has already been off to a good season. 7 points so far, 5 goals and 2 assists in 10 games. Puck will go out of play as Arizona State will make a line change. It'll be Paxton Malone and Holston in the circle. Malone wins the draw, comes up to Asaf. Asaf plays it over to his defensive partner, Eric Williams. Williams on the backhand trying to center that one. He's not able to. Studioso will go for a hard chip off the glass, and icing will be waved off by the linesman. Asaf, a little messy play as Arizona State will rim it back in. Good forecheck by the Sun Devils. They're trying to get there. As that was Turcotte with a blind pass trying to get out of his own zone, but he turns it over. Turcotte gets a rough ride, that time by the defenseman Miller. Puck's kept in, a shot on by Studioso. And Jesper Schett was able to see that no screen in front for him.
And I really like the early evolution we've seen from the Arizona State forecheck. The beginning of the game, it seemed like they were sitting back just a little bit more, kind of letting UNLV come to them. And once they saw that speed that they were getting through the neutral zone and building up, ASU's really pushed that forecheck in deep. They've got that first forechecker pressing on the man that's making that breakout pass for UNLV, and it's putting a lot of pressure on him right now, and it's really helping Arizona State.
Shot on from the point as that was a nice draw win by the goal scorer Hoffenkamp. York just unable to get that one in. A nice hit by Timothy Hoffenkamp. He walks it out of the corner. Tries to turn to that one, and Demon couldn't pull the trigger. UNLV now, it's a 2-on-2 opportunity. A nice move, and it was a good defensive play by Kowalchuk to put Kazupski offside as they're having some speed building up there through the neutral zone.
A great play from Kowalchuk on that one. You never want to dangle just as you get onto the blue line because it really puts your winger off of his game. And as you said, it was Kowalchuk that forced him to have to move it over as he got that ever-present stick out there. You got to love what Kowalchuk brings. He's that nice stay-at-home defenseman, very physical. He has a great stick, loves the poke check. That's exactly what you want from your captain.
Kazipski wins the draw for UNLV, and it'll be the defenseman Provezerov to dump that one in. Puck's passed out of the corner as he was trying to find Bryce Woodward, wasn't able to. Backhand shot on. Moore steers that one with the stick to the corner. Puck's chipped out by Havner as it's stuck in the neutral zone. Bouncing around, it comes to the stick of Holler. Holler, a quick snapshot. As Jespershad had a little trouble as he was trying to control the rebound. And with 5:44, it's going to be an offensive draw for Arizona State. Holston and Pearson in the draw, won by Pearson. Sachs circling around in his own zone. Sachs trying to get around the first forechecker. He's unable to. It gets taken away. Nice play by Gavin Klein. Klein getting some pressure. He'll softly chip that one in with his backhand. Holston there to the first one on the puck. Trying to create the turnover. Jet Larson digging in the corner for it. As it looks like it's going to be a hooking call in the play. UNLV with the extra attacker now. Searing in, a shot on, and that was a nice save by Moore. As on the delayed call, Pearson on the backhand was able to get around the defender for Arizona State, but it was a glove save by Moore to stop play.
And that's just what you call a lazy play, Brett. In the offensive zone, the last place you want to take a penalty is 200 feet from your own net. And it was Gavin Klein who got in there. He stopped moving his feet, got a little straight-legged, and stuck his stick on the hands. As the referee, when you see that, you're trained to call it instantly, and he made sure to put him in the box for 2 for that one.
It's going to be the first power play in the game for either team tonight. As it's a Gavin Klein water skiing hooking call. As it allows UNLV to be a man up. A quick shot, and that was a nice block by Studioso, going down low and blocking it with his knee. UNLV have to go back and gain to be on sides, but it looks like they're a little too eager. UNLV going back to that matchup they had in Vegas earlier last month, as UNLV was deadly on the power play. Really good passing that puck around, being clear and crisp and decisive in the offensive zone. Draw one by UNLV. It'll be Bryce Woodward. He'll backhand that one in for Kazupski. Kazupski at the point. Trying to delay, create some space. Williams will send it down. Nice play, as that was a shot for Kazupski, and it was blockered away by Moore. Puck's pinned. It's dug out by UNLV. It's Turcotte. Turcotte, the righty, plays it over to Woodward as they exchange spots. Comes over to Turcotte. Just about a minute left on the power play. Nice block by Larson. Turcotte underneath the goal line. He'll play it up. Kazupski, a saucer pass over to Woodward. Woodward trying to center that one as he had a streaking forward coming in. That was Malone on the weak side. Turcotte over to Malone. Couldn't pull the trigger. He finally gets that shot off, and Moore finds it again. Turcotte circling up, cycles it around with Malone. Malone looking for that pass. Oh, and the save by Moore. Just got a piece of it as it was Woodward just camped out on the back post, and Arizona State's able to get a change.
That was a huge save from Bronson Moore. And as you mentioned, this power play has looked absolutely amazing for UNLV. Their puck movement is beautiful. They have the 3 righties on one side of the ice, the 2 lefties on the other, and they're really setting up those one-timers and just keeping the penalty killers for ASU at bay because they know they can't overcommit to one guy without leaving another open.
Provezorov on the corner. He tries to send that one. It gets deflected right in front of Moore, and he's able to fight and get to that puck. And now Arizona State's back to even strength, and really with just probably that one chance, I'd say that one, and then Kazubski was up right in the middle of the slot, able to get a shot off, but Moore was able to find that one. UNLV had a pretty good power play.
Yeah, and after watching that one, I'm going to say ASU had a good penalty kill on that stretch of play, which you wouldn't think after watching it because UNLV was moving the puck amazingly. And that just speaks to the skill and the comfort level they have with each other on the power play when they're moving around the offensive zone. They are extremely deadly.
UNLV wins the draw, comes to the point. Lawson trying to backhand that one. That was another good defensive play, this time by Budman. Budman trying to center that one up to Klein. Klein will just chip that around the defenseman. Klein trying to dig that one out of the corner. Puck's still glued there. Puck's been bouncing around a lot tonight. It'll be taken up by the Rebels. Tristan Mayer. Mayer with speed on the backhand side. Mayer trying to get around the defenseman Budman, unable to. Holston pushes off Lawson, but not enough as UNLV still has control in the offensive zone. A soft chip behind the net. That'll find Victor Brask. Brask on the backhand. Brown harassing him as he'll backhand that one to his forward partner. That's looks like Jet Larson. Unable to. UNLV still controlling and dictating the play in the neutral zone. Brown behind his net.
What was that, kid?
With a minute 50 left in this first period. Polonsky, that'll be thrown up all the way, and that'll hit the rafters here at Oceanside Ice Arena, those infamous low-hanging rafters.
It is. You're not going to see many other rinks around the league quite like this one, Brett. But you do what you have to get the ice out in the desert. And one note for anyone that didn't catch it, just as they were heading off there, number 17, Zach Lawson for UNLV, took a hard little slash from a Sun Devil forward. I couldn't get a read on who it was, but he gave him a little, hey, how you do, as he was skating to the bench. We'll see if that develops in anything going forward.
Studioso trying to handle that bouncing puck. He'll flip that one up, and he'll find Holston with speed. Holston trying to get around the defenseman Polonsky. With control of the puck. The point shot, oh, and that took a bounce. It looked like off of Holston's stick and just wide of the net. UNLV now on the attack. Kazubski trying to get that one in. That was a nice play by Woodward trying to get some body contact on. Puck just staying in as we're now under a minute left in this first period. It's still a 1-1 score. Icing's waved off as both teams will go for a change. With speed out of his own zone, Eric Williams. Cross ice pass, that'll find Cameron Fink, but he'll go offside.
Fortunate for Demon, he really struggled with that one as it got thrown to him from the defenseman to break it out. UNLV nearly picked that one right off at the blue line. Not the place you want to turn it over. Demon got bailed out by that bouncing puck, as you mentioned, Brett. The ice has been a little choppy early in this first period.
Trials won by UNLV. It'll be dumped in by Williams. Moore will stop it for his defenseman, Kowalczyk behind the net. Kowalczyk. Backhand pass, could be another turnover. UNLV trying to pull the trigger, they're not able to. Asaf gives it over to Sachs. Jake Sachs gets around York. Sachs trying to go upstairs and he'll miss the net high. Asaf will pinch. Not able to keep the puck in though. It almost drops over for Austin Palumbo in the neutral zone. It'll be played by Williams. Under 10 seconds left. As that was a nice hit by York right in the neutral zone, as that'll be the end of the first period. As it'll end, Arizona State 1, UNLV 1. Shots for the period 11-9 in favor of UNLV, and Niall, it started off a little slow but picked up a little bit towards the end, a little bit of that run and gun style.
Oh, yeah, it really picked up near the end. We saw both teams neither holding back. Both teams pulling out their guns and trying to get that forecheck, a lot of speed early. Both goalies were tested quite a few times. And you have to, a key takeaway for me coming out of that first period is if you look at that UNLV power play, that's a power play unit you do not want to give many chances if you're the Sun Devils. 0 chances the rest of this game if you can. It was some good saves by Bronson Moore. You know, they say that your goaltender needs to be your best penalty killer, and he really was, and kept them from going down on that power play. And ASU, I think, really fortunate after the end of that first period to only go into this tied 1-1.
Yeah, I think, too, you have to imagine head coach of Arizona State, Tate Green's got to be talking and rallying his troops in this first intermission on to make sure to not take penalties, or if they're going to take penalties, not take lazy ones that Gavin Klein did in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I think that'll certainly be the message. Maybe a few other words that we can't air on here from the head coach Green. And it'll certainly be interesting to see how each team comes out in that second period.
Folks, we'll have about 14 minutes left in this first intermission, and please come back, and thank you for tuning in for tonight's broadcast of Arizona State Ice Hockey. Hello everyone and welcome back to the second period of Arizona State's Hockey YouTube broadcast presentation of Arizona State Division I ACHA men's ice hockey. I am Brett Vaughn alongside now Cooper as we're in the second stanza as the number 9 UNLV Rebels have skated to a 1-1 tie with the Sun Devils.
That's right, and it was Kazubski who got it going early in the first period for the Rebels, put them up on the board 1-0. And then it was Arizona State who answered later on the opportunistic goal from Hoffenkamp. And that got things tied up at 1-1. Arizona State survived that extremely dangerous power play for the Rebels, and here we stand at 1-1.
Puck will be dumped into the Arizona State zone. It'll be York. On his backhand, chips it off the glass with speed. Jet Larson's trying to beat out the icing. And he won't be able to, as those are the fresh legs of Eric Williams able to go back for UNLV, and the puck will go back to the Arizona State zone. Interesting first period as it really started off as both teams trying to find their way, but later in that first period it was end-to-end action on both sides of the puck. Draw one by Holston will try to win that one forward. Point shot as Moore goes down low and scoops that up like a catcher from the point shot from Williams.
I think we saw a couple times in the first period, Brett, it seemed like Arizona State, while they had that good communication, at times they would kind of just drop off for no reason, and you'd see some defensemen not making it back in time, missing some assignments, and UNLV forwards getting in some dangerous spots that they didn't need to be led into by Arizona State. And I think if you're head coach Tate Green, you want that communication to get back up and get a few passes going. If they can establish a forecheck and get on the front foot in the early half of the second period, they can really put UNLV on their back foot, and I think that'll really help Sun Devils, especially seeing that UNLV looks like they have just a little bit of bus legs right now.
Rebels will get the puck in their own zone. It'll be Eric Williams. Williams, a left-hander, he'll try to pass it up, but it's turned over in the neutral zone. Hoffenkamp, the goal scorer, on his forehand side. Hoffenkamp, a nice move around the staff. Hoffenkamp trying to center that one. It goes wide through the crease. Brown backhands on that back end. It takes a weird hop off the net, almost in front. That's cleared away by Asaf. UNLV with numbers now. Could be a quick throw-through opportunity. Just out of the reach by Lawson. I don't think he's really used to this good ice as we start the period. Asaf in UNLV zone. Try to have a controlled breakout. It's a nice play. Comes up to Fink. Fink goes around the defenseman Budman. Fink now in the corner. Fighting off the checking of Brown. Brown up the wall. That'll just squeak out into the neutral zone for Yager Larson. Larson trying to feed that one in space to Havner. He's not able to. It was a nice play by DeAndre John. Bryce Woodward trying to center that one. Puck's dribbling around. It'll finally get onto the stick of Provezorov. Trevor Provezorov trying to get that one up to the point. Glued to the boards. It'll be rimmed back around. Brown. That's out of the reach, and it's going to be no icing on the call by the linesman. Arizona State will go a change. It's a long change now as we're in the second period. DeAndre John by himself. John trying to buy some time. He takes a spill on the Oceanside ice. Gets it right back. John trying to send that one. That'll squeak out of the zone. Puck played back in by UNLV Chase Toronto. Studioso trying to find Deneen. Connor Deneen on his backhand. Gets a rough ride by the defenseman Hetzel. As the rugby scrum ensues right at the Devils' shop sign. Woodward plays it over to Turcotte. Turcotte will try to win the race to the puck as he and Miller collide. Up to the point, a quick shot on, and that had to be a quick reaction saved by Moore trying to see it through the traffic. That was Connor Hetzel on the point shot. Malone centers that one right in front. Moore does a great job to square up to that shot from Jared Turcotte, and he was able to find it.
And it was Turcotte who managed to just slip his forward that was on him, covering him in the slot as he slipped backwards and had that chance to shoot. Bronson Moore had to come way out of his net to challenge. And we're off to a pretty quick start in this period right now, Brett. Both teams showing a lot of speed. I've liked what Arizona State's been doing, breaking it out, getting into the offensive zone. They haven't been able to turn into a lot of shots on goal, though. And I'd like to see them turn that from a negative into a positive.
16:42 left in the second period. It's still a 1-1 game. No scoring has partaken yet in the second period. Holston and Malone to the right of Moore. As Kowalczyk was trying to fight for it, he gets brought down, but no call on the play. Turcotte trying to get a shot off. He's not able to. It's a broken play right in front of Moore. Moore's trying to fight for it. As it ends up deeming to be a goal for UNLV, as it just took a weird hop in front. And the referee in the far corner took a good long pause, and he signaled that it was going to be standing as a goal.
And Brett, that whole play, regardless, started off the hard work of Turcotte. We mentioned him on that last opportunity where he managed to slide into the slot. Well, on that one, he was working down low, and he did a really good job to win possession of that one. It looked like Kowalczyk got tripped, but really Turcotte was just hard on his stick. Kowalczyk wasn't ready and went tumbling to the ice. Turcotte continued that around, made a little bob and weave, and did a quick give and go down low to open up that chance. And without that hard work, UNLV wouldn't be up 2-1.
And with that hard work, Jared Turcotte will get his first goal of the new campaign for the Rebels, as now it's a 2-1 lead. Offenkamp trying to tie it up. He centers that one right in front. That was Demon trying to get the pull the trigger. He's been all around tonight, this line has. Offenkamp on his backhand. Circles around the net, tries to center that one as that shot got blocked by Garrett Amaya's shot. That'll come out to the neutral zone. Brown will try to chip that one in. Arizona State will go for a quick change. It'll rim all the way around for Amaya. Amaya trying to get a shot on. That'll go wide left. Centered back in front by Yager Larson. That's taken away by Tristan Mayer. Yager Larson trying to feed somebody. He finds Studioso. Studioso, a shot on. And that had to be fought off by Geisbrecht. And he was able to find it with 15:25 in the second period.
That's a huge save. A couple huge saves from Geisbrecht for UNLV as Arizona State pushed hard following that goal against. And it was the Hoffenkamp line, as you alluded to earlier, Brett. Coming back out, they showed some energy in the first, had the sole goal so far for Arizona State, and put on some real pressure. If it wasn't for the great goaltending he provided, Arizona State probably would have tied this back up.
Jonah Pearson wins that draw for UNLV, and it almost gets squared away as Miller somehow was able to get control of that puck and bring that one back into the offensive zone. That puck will get around him, though, as Studioso will have to be the one to pick it up. Studioso will try to backhand that one off the glass. It gets turned over at the line. Holler was trying to get through as a Mack truck, not able to. Cameron Fink. Nice area pass, could be a 2-on-1 developing for UNLV. Trying to center that one, and a good defensive play by Miller to get his stick in the way. Puck trying to go out in front as Fink was unable to handle it. As that was a great opportunity for UNLV to add to their 2-1 goal lead. Turnover, Havner. Plays it down, walking out of the point is Jet Larson. Larson trying to center that one. Unable to. Havner gets the puck back. York to Kowalczyk. Trying to get a passing play connected, and then it was Levi Holston unable to get it, though. But it will be an icing, and they'll be able to try again.
Arizona State's really buzzing right now, pushing hard, trying to get that second opportunity. Some good puck movement. They're forechecking really hard. You saw the communication started off early, and well, it dropped off a little bit naturally because of the goal. And right now they're starting to feel themselves a little bit and really get in and push hard on UNLV. And they force that icing. Now this offensive zone draw. It's a key opportunity for Arizona State.
It'll be Holston on his strong side as they're fighting for it. It'll come out to the way of the Rebels. Profesorov will try to sneak that one out of the zone. He's unable to as it's collected by Arizona State. Lawson will slow it down and bring it back the puck into his own zone. Fink will chip that one in to the Arizona State zone. York backhands it. Arizona State quick enough to try to get out of their own zone, but maybe a little too quick as they'll lose possession of the puck. Asaf and UNLV will try to start it up again. Williams. Cross-ice pass finds Woodward. Woodward, a nice saucer pass. Finds Kazubski. Kazubski, oh, and a blocker saved by Moore, but he needs to get back into his net. As that was DeAndre John, a nice play to be able to try to get another lead here for UNLV, unable to. John on the half wall, John. He'll leave it for Woodward. Woodward, as they lose the handle of his, they were trying to do a mini cycle in the corner, but they get it right back. Kazubski, that was a nice sprawling block by Kowalchuk. Arizona State a little tighter in their own zone. They got bailed out, though, as that was an errant pass by John, and they'll go for a quick change.
What a save from Bronson Moore. My goodness. Good thing he put in those extra 5 minutes of pregame stretching because he needed every bit of that splitting of the pads to make the save. Really bailing out the Sun Devils. You hear Tate Green telling him to communicate, get the pressure up. He wants more pressure. Right now they're letting UNLV have all the time and space they want in the offensive zone, and you just can't do that to a skilled lineup like this.
Garrett Amaya will beat out the icing. Amaya in the corner. He's getting bodied there by the defenseman Polonsky. Polonsky will be able to create the turnover. Miller throws it all the way up, and again it'll hit the rafters.
And Brett, it's a chance for you to take a breath there after that coast-to-coast action. It's been mostly at the hands of UNLV. They look like they're starting to pick it up. They had that long bus trip down south from Las Vegas into Tempe. I've made that drive, Brett. It's about 5 hours.
Yeah, thanks. Now I was able to wash it down and clear the palate. Puck will go back as it's Garrett Amaya again winning the race into the corner. His line mate, Demon, trying to center that one, but that's turned over. Rebels skating through the neutral zone with speed. Moeller. Moeller will do a soft play into the corner. It'll find Polonsky. Polonsky trying to get there, and he gets brought down, but no call. Moeller trying to get that shot off, but he'll just have to elect for a dump. That was a good play by Studioso on him. Demon will try to fork that one out, and he's just able to. That was a bad change by Arizona State, and the Rebels will easily gain the offensive zone. Puck will be centered in front, and that'll be ricocheted as Profesorov was trying to find one of the three Rebels in front, but wasn't able to. Palumbo will just get it over the red line, and so it'll be Geisprecht will leave it for his defenseman. Profesorov. Nice play, Profesorov. He'll find his line mate, that's Lawson. Lawson gets the shot blocked, though, by Kowalchuk. 10:40 left in the second period as it'll roll all the way down for an icing play as UNLV is really picking up the pace and Arizona State's getting really tired, especially in their own zone.
They are, and you see 21, Austin Palumbo, right now for the Sun Devils. He's really laboring. He took a hard knee against the boards. The Sun Devils just got it out of their zone, and he was trying to do what he could against the oncoming forward for UNLV. Lawson, who was applying some pressure, ended up catching a little knee-to-knee contact, and he's not feeling so good.
UNLV still applying the pressure against this tired line of Arizona State. As there's a turnover for the Rebels now. Lawson, he ends up creating a turnover of his own and bailing out the Sun Devils. Donovan Myers. Myers tries to get that shot off, and that's high off the glass. Palumbo trying to cause a commotion, not unable to into the corner. Lawson ends up finding one of his teammates. That ends up being Fink. Fink unable to hit the net. Chase Toronto from Edmonton, Alberta. He'll start the rush. Toronto gets it right back. As that was from Lawson, unable to corral it. Toronto trying to weave his way around Budman. Budman doing a good job of keeping him to the perimeter. Asaf will play that one back in. It's Toronto. Toronto a tight turnaround. As then he gets thrown down by Kowalchuk. Good job by Arizona State of keeping the Rebels out to the perimeter. Holston over to Jet Larson. Budman will dump that one in onto the goaltender, Geisbrecht. Geisbrecht will try to play that one out of his own zone. He'll find Fink. Cameron Fink near the end of his shift. He'll try to play it over just out of the reach of John. Rebels still have the puck. Trying to be centered as it's stuck in the skates. Shot on. That gets caught up. That was blocked that time by Budman. Kazubski up to the point. John, and that's a nice defensive play by Jet Larson to get in the way of that shot. Puck will be to Bryce Woodward. Woodward trying to dangle his way through, as that was Yager Larson that time to throw him down to the ice. John will chip that one in. Arizona State has some time to be able to develop a nice breakout. Havner. Havner out of the reach of Larson, but it ends up being picked up by the defenseman Studioso, and he dumps it in. 8:10 left in the second period. It's a 2-1 UNLV lead. John Moeller tries to get it around. That was a nice defensive play by Miller, but then he turns it over. Shot on by Woodward, and that's saved. Still in front as Moore's trying to find his goalie stick. Puck centered. That's a nice block by Studioso. The Rebels still applying that pressure to Arizona State as they're having a tough time trying to get out of their own zone. Havner, a nice defensive play as they'll find Yager Larson. Larson with no speed, trying to find some teammates. He'll just dump that puck in as the Sun Devils will go for a change. Turcotte with speed, trying to get around two. Sun Devils unable to, as it could be another way for the opportunity. Hoffenkamp going all the way in by himself. Hoffenkamp, yes! Hoffenkamp all alone, using his speed, ends up electing to go to the backhand and beats Geisbrecht, and it's 2-2.
And Brett, I was just about to say, Arizona State is not going to be able to keep playing this free-form style of hockey much longer without conceding. And next thing you know, Hoffenkamp's on a breakaway. And that was a great move. He went forehand back, and you saw he was fresh off the bench. No one from UNLV could even get close to the big man, as he huffed and puffed his way all the way down the ice and went roof job on the goaltender. We have a tie game.
Unfortunate for UNLV, you could say. They really were dictating the pace of the second period, and it was Arizona State taking advantage of a fortunate bounce, and it was Hoffenkamp who's been on money all night tonight. That pressure still being applied, though, by UNLV. Garrett Amaya having some trouble getting out of his own zone. He plays it to his defenseman, York. York will just flip that puck up into the air, as it was a crazy hand-eye coordination touch by Chase Toronto to be able to neglect the breakaway for Hoffenkamp. Toronto gets it back. Toronto faking the shot. Stepping in now, and that's blocked by Kowalchuk. Kowalchuk now trying to gain some speed. Kowalchuk trying to get to the outside of Provezerov. He'll get that shot on quickly. As again, that torrid pace is now heating up now in the second period. Victor Brass will backhand that one over to Pearson. Pearson plays it over to Mayer. Puck still in front. Kowalchuk trying to find that puck in his feet. He's finally able to. Klein over to Jet Larson. Larson faking the shot, but he ends up getting the puck taken away that time by Mayer. Puck's rolling down as the linesman will negate the icing. Kazubski in the corner. He plays it up to the point. Kazubski finds Harrison. Harrison gets that shot through somehow. Brown will chip that puck all the way down, negating the icing, and allows for UNLV now to try to break out of their own zone. Puck's picked up by Kazubski. Joe Kazubski, as Budman's using his stick to try to keep him away. That was a nice read by Garrett Brown to come over and block that pass. As that time it was Woodward trying to get it through. Somehow Arizona State gains a line. Klein with the shot, and that rebound goes behind the net. Woodward trying to slow the play down. He'll just chip that all the way down as he'll forfeit possession up to the Sun Devils.
The action's really starting to pick up right now. A lot of run and gun. Not the game you'd love as a coach, but a game you'd really love as a fan.
Palumbo, he'll get thrown into the corner that time by Harrison. Harrison will dig it out. Plays it up to John. Good back check that time from Donovan Myers. Good job by Myers. Larson trying to center that one. That's taken away by Turcotte. Turcotte plays up to his line mate, Williams. Williams trying to center that one through, and Moore is able to stay with that puck. Moeller trying to pull the trigger, unable to. Geisbrecht will come out of his net and play it. Holler, a nice little spinorama at the blue line, able to get it down deep in UNLV zone. Havner winds up a shot, and that'll miss wide. Rolls back around as that's Miller trying to get that redirection that time for, looked like to be Havner in front, just unable to connect. Those bus legs are showing a little bit for UNLV right now as their line has been out there for a little bit. SF will muster that one out to the neutral zone, but not deep all the way enough to get a full line change for the Rebels. Puck stuck in the skates of Larson. It'll now be picked up by Eric Williams. He'll gain the red, and he'll do that soft chip, and finally they'll be going for a change. Fink. He centers that puck, and that shot misses that time from Lawson. Lawson will dribble that puck with his hand and go down to his stick. He'll leave that for his defenseman, Prevezerov. Prevezerov operating below. Now moves over to Fink. Fink trying to get that shot through. He does, and it's still sitting there in front. And that's cleared out, but not all the way by Arizona State. Fink trying to go for that shot again. That time it's Hoffenkamp getting the block. Shot pass. Oh, that's a nice developing play for UNLV, and that shot's blocked as that was Pearson right in front. Now looks like it's the foots on the other end as now UNLV is playing against this tired line for Arizona State. Fink on his backhand. Walking up to the boards, he cycles it down. As Prevezerov gets that puck taken away from him and just squeaks out into the neutral. Pierre's been flying by as really we've had no whistles besides the goals. With 2 minutes left in the second period. Puck centered in front by Prevezerov and able to find a Rebel player. Fink. Fink again. Leaves it, and Pearson couldn't pull it, but he still has regained the puck.
Arizona State needs a change right now, Brett.
Lawson on his forehand side. Lawson trying to scoot in, and that one's blocked away by Miller. Hoffenkamp scored 2 goals tonight. Does it just enough to get that one out of Arizona State zone. Streaking in, oh, and that was a nice play by Geisbrecht to intercept that pass. It squeaks out. It could be a 2-on-1 opportunity. It's Prevezerov. Prevezerov a shot on. Oh! And Moore just got his shoulder up in time. And now Arizona State on the front foot. It's a 4-on-2. Good defensive play by Kazupski. And it's a 3-on-1 now. UNLV all the time they want. A shot on! And it's in! Sean Polanski goes upstairs on Moore. And it's that run and gun style this time. Showing up in favor for UNLV. It's 3-2.
And the writing was on the wall the last 10 minutes without a whistle in this middle frame. Both teams were going coast to coast. Nobody had much of a care in the world to play very much defense. Arizona State got caught on a really long shift on that last one. You saw everyone was standing straight up. There was zero pressure. It was amazing UNLV didn't score on that previous opportunity. And it's Arizona State can only be kicking themselves. I mean, you have a 4-on-2 in the offensive zone. You have to make a smarter pass as you cross the blue line. They end up leaving Zach Kowalchuk hung out to dry on that 3-on-1, and it was an easy shot. Just pick your spot from the middle of the ice.
Under a minute left as this second period has flown by here at Oceanside Ice Arena. UNLV has regained the lead as it's 3-2. Palumbo on John, he'll create the turnover. York, cross ice pass to Myers. Couldn't get that puck in. John up to Sean Polanski, the goal scorer, who just scored it to make it 3-2. And Moore will make that easy save on Kazubski with 34.5 seconds left.
And it's unfortunate for ASU because they were really playing a bend but don't break style through the latter half of the second period. And only to give one up with just a couple minutes remaining, that's going to be extremely deflating coming into the third, as they've had to rely on Bronson Moore to make a lot of big saves.
Budman will backhand that one around the zone. As digging for it there is Demon, he'll get it out. Demon, the native from Moscow, Russia, unable to get to that puck in the offensive zone. Asaf, he turns it over to Hoffenkamp. Hoffenkamp trying to get that shot off. He's unable to. Turcotte trying to go around Budman. He does. It could be a quick 2-on-1. Budman tries to center that one in front, just over the stick of John Moeller. And after a wild and crazy second period, it ends up being it's a 3-2 lead for the UNLV Rebels. As that period flown by, Niall.
It certainly has. And UNLV, they're only up by 10 on the shot clock, but you'd think it'd be a lot more with all the zone time that they had. And they really put on the pressure. We talked about the bus legs early, and at this point it's hard to tell if they still have the bus legs or if Arizona State just isn't applying enough pressure, because it seems like there's almost an extra man on the ice right now for UNLV, the way they're moving the puck around and getting chances to go. And once again, I mean, we talk about the communication earlier on the Arizona State side of things, and they really didn't have it. You heard the coaching staff. They were really having to give it to the back checkers and the defensemen in that period, letting them know you need to talk more, you need to apply some more pressure. There's some lazy changes, just some mental errors. And some of that happens when you lose that oxygen, that precious oxygen that's going to your brain on the long shifts. And you just can't think anymore for Arizona State. But that's really a byproduct of the play at the other end of the ice. So all in all, Arizona State really needs to clean things up in the third period if they're going to have a chance to come back.
Yeah, almost, especially for Arizona State. It's no secret for any team, especially when you're playing UNLV. They've already played them already this season, that they have a lot of team speed and a lot of speed to burn. And for Arizona State, they're playing with fire almost if they're trying to get into these run-and-gun games with a talented team like UNLV. Well, folks, we'll have just under 14 minutes for the second intermission, and we hope you'll come back and join us for the last period of the game tonight, as it's UNLV with the lead 3-2 against Arizona State on Arizona State Hockey YouTube. Hello, folks, and welcome us back to the third period. As it's a 3-2 UNLV lead, I'm Brett Fawn alongside now Cooper. As there's an interesting second period, as it's running gun style, only maybe 2 or 3 stoppages in play. As UNLV will now operate back in the offensive zone. It'll be the assistant captain, Jack York. He'll try to center that, and the puck is just bouncing around as it has been all game tonight. And able to get control of it is Levi Holston. Holston cycles it around. Now over to Gavin Klein. Gets it taken away from Asaf. Puck shot in front. Oh, and the rebound sitting right in front. As Gavin Klein had a golden chance as he just stick that one wide. Kowalchuk going into the left side of the offensive zone. Plays it to Jet Larson. Larson trying to work around as it's like there's a stoppage in play. As it might have been a funky hit. As that's why they stopped it. Really interesting. I'm not sure what it was, maybe an offside. Only so much that could happen on a ice rink, is that's one of the things I don't know what could happen. Draw one by Arizona State. Shot that time from Garrett Amaya is wide. With speed, UNLV picking it up the pace now. Paxton Malone. Malone trying to center that one in front, and that was a good hit as it was that Jared Turcotte this time getting laid down on his keister. Geisbrecht trying to take that round, almost intercepted. 3-on-2 opportunity for the Rebels. Turcotte with speed. Turcotte on his backhand side. Oh, and a sprawling save from Moore as he goes to the 7-10 split and able to blocker that one out. Puck's dumped in. Studioso lumping his way over there. Turcotte trying to handle it. He's not able to. Studioso trying to force the issue blocks. That was a nice fake that time by Toronto. Toronto moving in on the backhand side. Moore glued to the post. Moore loses his stick again as that's behind the net now. As an errant pass by number 17, Jared Holler, ends up getting UNLV and allowing them to go back into the offensive zone. A shot on that one's blocked. Takes a weird hop as Moore ended up deflecting that rebound right into the path of Pearson, and he was unable to get it. That shot on and whistled down. It looks like it's going to be a tripping call spotted by the referee on Ethan Fink, or Cameron Fink, apologies. And Arizona State gets their first power play of the night.
Pardon me there, Brett, but I think this is exactly what the doctor ordered for Arizona State, as Jonah Pearson sits for 2 after that tripping minor. Has a great opportunity that was developing for UNLV. Just as the whistle was blown, it scooted right out into the slot for Thomas Harrison. He was looking for his first point of the year and ripped one just wide.
Puck, hey, watch out in the stands. A free souvenir for a lucky patron here tonight at the game.
And that's exactly what we saw in that first Series 2 for ASU. That puck just seems to find the stands.
Pardon me, that was Pearson that ends up going to the box for UNLV, but either circumstance, it's a ASU power play. Havner in the circle, trying to dig for it. He gets some help from his line mate Larson. Puck's thrown down by Kowalchuk blindly. Jet Larson able to collect the puck. Puck's thrown down as that was Kowalchuk. He creates a turnover. Havner! And that shot's off the post. Wrist shot and a few posts by both teams this game. Arizona State looking promising though on the power play. It could be a 2-on-1 quickly. York having trouble. He's chasing that puck around. Gets intercepted though by UNLV. Zach Lawson all by himself. Lawson fighting through a back checker's stick. Looking for a call. He's not going to get one. Arizona State changing power play units. Kowalchuk now from behind his net. Will lightly chip that one into the corner. Amaya on his backhand. Amaya takes a hit that time from Hetzel. Goes up to the point. Kowalchuk with a shot, and that was a nice sprawling dive by John. It's still loose, though. And the shot from Klein just wide left. Puck still loose and has not been blown down until now.
Only 37 seconds left on this power play. And you don't see too often. Early in that power play, Brett, it was Zach Kowalchuk, El Capitan of the Sun Devils, laying a booming check along the boards. You don't see big checks too often on the power play time. But that kept that play alive. Let them get that great opportunity in the slot. A couple saves from number 29 in net for UNLV have kept it 3-2.
Draw one by Holston. Arizona State now operating. Under 30 seconds left in this man advantage. Holston playing pitch and catch with Studioso. Budman trying to get Holston on the cross ice. Nice defensive play by Kazupski. Amaya plays it back to the point. Budman right in front. Klein gets a shot off right off the pillows of Geisbrecht and will go all the way down and will end that duration of that 5-on-4.
And it's a good job from the leading goal scorer, Levi Holston. There's a high touching on that play, and he made sure to let the defenseman get in there first before bodying him off that puck, and that allowed the offensive zone time to continue for ASU.
Studioso at the point gets a wrister a little too high. Pearson able to skate the one out of his own zone, but an errant pass ends up giving it right back to the Sun Devils. 15-12 in this third period. Arizona State still trying to find that tying goal as it's a 3-2 UNLV lead. Walking straight in is Toronto. Toronto trying to get that shot off. He fans on it. Puck's right up in front, digging for it. As Jack York comes out with the puck, he turns it over to Fink. Fink unable to corral it and goes out into the neutral. Both teams are still digging for it. It squirts out. Kowalchuk with a nice little fancy move. They haven't seen that fancy of a move since Soja Boy back in the day. It gets turned over, though. It's Kazupski for UNLV. Kazupski circling around, fighting the check off of York. Good job by Kazupski to be able to wait for his line mates to come off the bench. Demon, he loses. It's another turnover right in front dangerously as Woodward now operating in the offensive zone. A bad pass by Woodward as Demons pursuing for the puck. DeAndre John. John, a wrist shot. And that misses on the glove side of Moore. Kazupski again rolling in. That shot's wide. John trying to play the rebound, and Moore is there to answer that. ASU again having trouble out of their own defensive zone. It's kept in. Kazupski trying to get a tip on it. Doesn't make it all the way to the net, though. As that time, Yager will chip that one all the way down and allow the defenseman to go for a change.
It's all UNLV right now.
Harrison, almost a bad turnover in his offensive zone. He corrals it, though, and is able to take it out. Garrett Brown for Arizona State gains it. A nice pass, but even a better defensive play by UNLV's Paxton Malone. That allowed them to go into the offensive zone. Malone trying to pursue for the puck. But it's still bouncing around and squared out as that time it was Eric Williams unable to keep it in. Williams takes a weird hop off the boards. Brown digging for it. Not all the way out there. Asaf gets that shot through the legs of Holston, unable to get into the net, though. Puck sending all the way across to the point. Moore blocks that shot away. Unable to keep it in again was Williams, and UNLV will have to touch up. Nice defensive play by Bradley Mudman to poke that away. But again, it's another errant pass for Arizona State to try to break out their own zone. Jet Larson still couldn't get it out for the second time this shift. 12:15 left. It's another turnover capitalized here for the Rebels. Puck stuck on the half wall. Victor Brass going to work. Brass almost getting that puck right in front. That squirts right through his legs. Chase Toronto engaging into the offensive zone. That puck gets chipped out by Budman. UNLV finally touches up, but that allows Arizona State to maybe have some time to finally break the puck out.
Some lazy plays right now from the Sun Devils. They're not finding each other. Everyone's playing like an individual right now, and they have yet to get the puck in the offensive zone in the last 5+ minutes.
UNLV is still dictating this pace as they hold that 1-goal lead. York trying to throw his man to the boards. It gets picked up that time by UNLV. It's stuck in the corner. Victor Brass, the native of Sigtuna, Sweden, loses that puck out to the Arizona State Sun Devils. That time it was Amaya trying to get that puck all the way down, unable to. Kowalchuk, he backhands that one over to his teammate. Now it's Kenneth Miller trying to pave the way in. He will. To the goal scorer, Hoffenkamp. Hoffenkamp with 2 goals on the night. That shot gets ricocheted wide. Fink with some space. He'll chip that one in and he'll pursue the puck himself. Fink backhands that one over out of the reach of Pearson. Pearson using his big body to keep Hoffenkamp away from the puck. Moeller gets pinned to the boards that time by Amaya. Could be a quick 2-on-2 opportunity. It's Demon. Demon trying to get through, and he gets broken down. Puck gets covered up by Geisbrecht, and the referee does not deem it being a tripping call on that play.
I think that's a completely missed call, if we're being honest here, Brett. Now, granted, there wasn't a grade A scoring opportunities. He had it on one hand on his backhand. That being Alexander Demon, who's a little slow to get up. But he had position on the defenseman, and you saw the defenseman come in and throw himself first through the legs of Demon, then getting the puck afterwards. That's a clear trip on a breakaway. At the very minimum, that should have been a 2-minute tripping minor, if not a penalty shot.
Yeah, really unfortunate, as it was a good job by Demon to be able to find that puck. He's been all over tonight. Had some good opportunities for Arizona State.
You're going to feel really shortchanged right now if you're Arizona State after that one. But you need to pick your head up, put your hard head on, and get to work, because there isn't a lot of time left for them to get themselves back into this game.
Draw one by Palumbo. It'll get played up to Studioso at the point. Studioso trying to find a lane. Oh, and it almost ricocheted off a player in front and squirted into the net. Puck's picked up by DeAndre John for the Rebels. He'll wheel around his own net. John. He'll then take it over as now it'll find Kazubski, and UNLV will operate in the offensive zone. It's DeAndre John. Rim that puck's around. An aggressive pinch that time by Connor Hetzel will keep it in. Puck squirts out through the legs of Bryce Woodward. And just in the nick of time, it was Eric Williams to keep that away from being a breakaway opportunity for the Sun Devils. All alone is Connor Deneen, the native from Niagara Falls, New York. Will now try to make something for himself. Yager Larson digging for it. He falls all the way down, and that puck ricochets up into the Rebels bench and offside.
And Brett, if I can continue our 2000s music references here, I'd say the Sun Devils could certainly use a little Britney Spears on the boombox right now and just get out there and work. Because right now that's all that they can do to apply the pressure to UNLV. We've seen the Sun Devils at their best tonight when they've been forechecking hard and using their legs and communicating well.
Brown shoots that one in on Geisbrecht, and he'll glove that one down for his defenseman. Brown, and that makes contact there with Turcotte, but Turcotte's able to get into the offensive zone for the Rebels, and that was a dangerous broken play again, as Moore is able to track that puck off the stick of John Moeller.
And I think we're going to be seeing probably a little less of Austin Palumbo, if I had to guess, the rest of this game for the Sun Devils. He took that weird knee-on-knee collision, and it just looks like he's lost a gear the rest of this game.
Draw one by Levi Holston. That puck gets rimmed around by York. A little too strong, though, as that'll go all the way down for an icing call. And for Arizona State, it was good to see there that they had that spell once that Damon chance happened. They had that face-off in the offensive zone. They were doing a great job of pursuing and maybe creating something that had a few good chances down there.
They did. They certainly felt the momentum after that one. And that was the first time we've seen the Sun Devils at their best in this entire third period. And you could hear the coaching staff was really displeased, giving it to the ref after that missed call earlier, just trying to show a little confidence in his troops.
Oh, and that was a dangerous opportunity that time for Paxton Malone, as that ricocheted right off the boards perfectly to him, almost like a pass. Jack York floats that into the corner. Good fake by Chase Toronto to be able to evade the forechecker. Moeller trying to get that puck out. He's not able to do the first time. Now he slows it down. Moeller finds Paxton Malone. Malone trying to find Turcotte, unable to. Had to be dangerous as Bronson Moore almost got that puck taken away by Turcotte. Holston. Up to Jet. Jet will play that in to Gavin Klein. And it's almost a dangerous turnover again by Geisbrecht. He already had one that led to one of Hoffenkamp's goals tonight. He has to be very careful back there, especially holding that 1-goal lead. Under 8 minutes in this third period. It's still 3-2 UNLV. Tristan Mayer centers that one. It goes all the way up to the point. Moore trying to fight that. Moore trying to get there. Oh, that's another sprawling save by Moore again going into the splits as he was having trouble trying to find that rebound. And the puck's still dangerously still there. UNLV again applying that pressure on. Provezorov centers that one. That goes off the skate of Hoffenkamp, and Arizona State's able to get into the neutral zone. Bronson Moore again making a few dandies that save. That sequence of saves, and it was just a flurry.
Bronson Moore's been the best Sun Devil out here, bar none tonight.
Garrett Amaya tries to sidestep the defenseman, unable to. Garrett Brown will do a hardship. As Geisbrecht will try to get in front, unable to, as there's some bad communication between him and his defenseman. Now the puck gets glued into the corner. UNLV will step out for it. It's Asaf. Asaf gets it right back. And it looks like to be a too many men call as the referee spots that one. And now that leaves the door creaking open for Arizona State to tie the game.
That's right. They had that one power play at the beginning of the third. They generated some really good scoring opportunities. The first time all night we've had to see Geisbrecht really put a couple saves together. Some fine saves, that is, in a row. And you're going to look for the Sun Devils to do the same thing here. They're going to put out their top power play unit right out of the gate. Kowalchuk had that Soulja Boy-esque move, as you coined earlier, Brett. I think he'll be the dangerous one on this power play, operating at that right point.
Draw one by UNLV, but they're having trouble getting out of their own zone. And it finally gets out. Could be a dangerous chance, though. DeAndre John on Kowalchuk. DeAndre John, a nice move trying to go around the backhand side. Kowalchuk just lifted his stick up enough to negate the try. Kowalchuk. Over to Jet, to Yager, his brother. And that was a nice, juicy rebound, but good job by John to clear that out of the zone. Hard play as it was deemed still onside, as Kowalchuk was able to glove that down. Kowalchuk walks out with it. Kowalchuk over to York. York, not all of it, but almost dangerously floated to the backside of the goal. Yager centers that one, but no one in front for Arizona State. Knows easily able to be covered up by Geisbrecht.
And I alluded to Kowalchuk, Brett. I almost got that one right, but it ended up being him laying that soft little pass across to the D-man on the other side. That was Jack York, the assistant captain. And as you said, he kind of floated just a little change-up into that upper corner, and it just missed the net. Maybe the best chance Sun Devils have had so far as they change it up and get that second power play unit out now.
Holston and Fink on the draw. One by ASU. Budman didn't like what he saw. He plays over to Studioso. Now they're rolling into that umbrella power play. Studioso, a backhand pass. Gets it right back from Holston. Studioso. They try to play again. That was a bad errant pass, and UNLV will try to pursue for that puck. Unable to get there. It's Amaya. Holston all the way up to Studioso. Studioso now to Budman. Budman with the shot on. That was a little too high and gets blocked by Harrison. Dangerous play as it squirts out. It's Paxton Malone now on the play. A great diving play. It's still loose, though. Fink trying to go to the backhand side. It's cleared out dangerously. And it looks like the play might have stopped as it looks like they're calling it maybe a possible hand pass, and it looked like it might be a face-off.
Yeah, that's going to be that ACHA rule, Brett. Unfortunately, this isn't the National League, and any hand pass is going to be called by the referee, but not much of a choice there if you're ASU. The puck's sitting there in the crease. You're not just going to look at it. A smart play to bail out his goaltender, who previously bailed out the defenseman as ASU got caught at the blue line. No one really saw that forechecker getting in behind, and he had a near breakaway if not for that diving attempt by Holston.
Under 20 seconds in this man advantage for Arizona State. Probably one last chance left on this power play. Puck glued to the wall. Ends up being caught on, but a bad, dangerous play by Levi Holston, and that negates the small amount of power play they had left, and now they're going to be back on the penalty kill against that dangerous UNLV power play unit.
And that's unfortunate if you're Levi Holston, after coming out as a hero on that power play, coming back on defense, diving out, and just poking the puck off of the stick of the UNLV Rebel player. To take that lazy penalty is really going to take the wind out of Arizona State sails, as they maybe were just starting to build up a little bit of confidence.
Palumbo and Kazubski on the draw. Arizona State comes out with the puck. As now it's going to be a power play opportunity for UNLV. Arizona State playing a little keep away. Palumbo dumps it all the way down. 4 minutes and 34 seconds left in this last and final third period for tonight's Friday night contest. It's a 3-2 UNLV lead. And you surely have to think if they can get maybe one more goal, this is probably going to be the insurance marker. Arizona State doing a good job, though, on the forecheck, not allowing UNLV to get a clean zone entry. Malone on the right side using his speed. He gains the blue. Puck squirts all the way down to Turcotte. It was a great job by Moore to not fall for that guy right in the middle to take the puck, but for the guy all the way on the weak side, Turcotte.
And you talk about a great reaction save from number one Moore. It seems like nowadays more and more teams are looking for those big goalies, that 6'3", 6'4" frame in net. Bronson Moore, he isn't going to wow you with his size, but he is going to wow you with his effort. And you saw it all on display on that save.
UNLV setting up their power play. It was a fake shot that time, and then he finally unleashes that time Eric Williams. Geisbrecht will leave that behind his net for his defenseman, Williams. Arizona State doing a good job so far of really just disrupting the flow and rhythm of this UNLV power play. Kazubski has already scored a goal tonight. Gets played back to Williams. Williams looking for that shot. Oh, and it ricochets through. Doesn't get straight to the net, though, and under 30 seconds left, Arizona State tries to go for a quick change. Studioso flipping that puck, just gets out into the neutral zone, and that was an error and clear as there's some miscommunication between Yager and Palumbo. Jonah Pearson leaves it for Provezorov. Provezorov trying to go weak side forward. A good job by Budman to negate the pass. Back to even strength. A good job by Arizona State, as there was really only one scoring chance, and now they could have a 2-on-1 opportunity. Yager trying to get it out of his skates. And the pass over that time, his brother Jet was able to pull the trigger. Provezorov. Up to Moeller. Moeller now to Fink. Fink bobbing and weaving his way in, and that gets ricocheted up into the netting with 2:24 in this third period.
Oh, man, and that was so close. The brotherly connection nearly connecting for Arizona State in the middle. You saw Yager Larson as he was picking that one up. It was stuck in his feet on the blue line. He didn't even have to look to know that his brother was there. He put that in his great spot. I think his brother was caught a little off guard almost by the quality of the pass, because he had slowed down and he was just a half a step behind it.
And that chip from Kowalchuk ends up taking a weird hop and off a UNLV player going into the bench, and the draw will be outside of the Arizona State zone.
A great kill, though, by Arizona State, Brett. You were talking about how they were doing a good job disrupting the flow, and you want to really cut it off at its head, and that's exactly what they were doing before UNLV could even get in the zone.
Klein will look off the pass, and he'll end up trying to dump that puck in. Geisbrecht without his goalie stick. He's trying to fork for it, and he finally gets it. Under 2 minutes remaining in the third period. You have to expect possible goalie pull coming up if Arizona State can get some sustained zone time. Kowalchuk. Wheels around. They'll try to play that up into the zone as Larson was trying to get there. Jet Larson that time. Kenneth Miller finds Jet. Jet getting to the middle of the zone. He had to be a little dangerous there where there wasn't too much space because there was 4 UNLV players occupying. Kazubski gets that one and retrieves it just around and ends up taking a penalty as that looked like it was York being a little lazy, ended up hooking Kazubski down, and now a tall task as Arizona State's going to be shorthanded with this minute and 16 left in this third period.
Yeah, and that's, to say the least, an ill-timed penalty for ASU and for the assistant captain, York. You certainly don't like to see that late, but you can't blame him too much. I mean, he was obviously extremely tired as Arizona State takes their one and only timeout. And we'll go back to the UNLV pressure. I mean, they maybe didn't have all their legs tonight. You know, they were a little travel weary throughout the game, but Arizona State's really given them the time and space, maybe a little too much respect for the Rebels, and as they've kind of gained their ground in this game, Arizona State really hasn't known how to respond.
Definitely, and I think even in terms of this third period, we've seen UNLV really bring the pressure and really show up when the chips are down, so to speak, as they haven't really allowed Arizona State to get too many opportunities or get really any momentum going in this third period.
No, I certainly think most of the good chances tonight have come from the sticks of the Rebels, and it has to be a little disappointing if you're ASU, just from the perspective that Bronson Moore came in tonight and put in another dazzling performance. He's been the go-to guy all year, and he has made some absolute wonder saves tonight to keep them in this game, and to waste that effort is just overall lacking for Arizona State.
It'll be interesting as Arizona State's on the penalty kill, and maybe if they can use the no icing advantage, if there is any advantage on the penalty kill. Studioso will take advantage of that and will go all the way down, as Arizona State's going to have to be really aggressive on the pressure on this penalty kill. Looks like it's going to be a pulled goalie, and now it's back to 5-on-5 as Yager Larson comes on for more. UNLV trying to gain the offensive zone, and they will with no goalie. We have less than a minute in this third period. Puck's kept in by UNLV, but it's turned over. Hoffenkamp. Klein trying to get around him. Klein will take the hit, but it squirts out dangerously. Budman trying to go in front. Oh, and unable to get there was Hoffenkamp. Studioso trying to hustle as Profesorov is trying to seal it. Profesorov will wrap it around, and it was a nice diving play by Studioso to block it. 15 seconds left. Klein trying to chip the one out. That gets blocked by Kazubski, but somehow Klein with some fancy stick work able to keep the puck. Klein gets thrown down by Fink. 5 seconds left. UNLV will chip that one out into the neutral zone, as that'll be it, as UNLV hangs on in a game that was really for the taking for both teams by the score of 3-2.
As the teammates for Arizona State go to tell Bronson Moore, good job. You just have to wonder what could have been after this game. I mean, you have number 9 UNLV coming in after a long road trip for ASU. You have a team that's played not a lot of games, but they played some hard opponents. They're ranked. They're in your barn. This is the kind of game that you get up for if you're Arizona State. And maybe they got up for it early, but as that game wore on, they really took their foot off of the pedal and gave a lot of respect, way too much respect to UNLV. And I think that was really the difference in what could have been a keystone victory early in the season for Arizona State.
Definitely, even thinking back, this game really was for the taking. As a home team, you know that the away team coming in, they've been either flying or on a bus for the majority of the week. And for Arizona State to really not pounce and take opportunity of that was unfortunate. It was a great performance, though, by Arizona State's Bronson Moore and even Timothy Hoffenkamp, the Chicago, Illinois native, scoring all 2 goals tonight and unable to take advantage of it for Arizona State. But for UNLV, it showed why they were number 9. They really didn't have all of their full strength or anything like that. And for UNLV, it was very important for them to come out and get the win. 3-2 shows how good of a hockey team, how mature of a hockey team. With Arizona State being mostly freshmen, there's still a good amount of juniors and seniors on the Rebels team to be able to eke this one out tonight by the score of 3-2. As we welcome you in here inside our cozy press box, I'm Brett Vaughn here with Niall Cooper. And Niall, putting this game in perspective, how do we think Arizona State did?
Well, it's hard to say because we've been railing a bit on Arizona State for the effort they put up tonight, and justifiably so. But, and that's a big but, you have to say that the overall effort from Arizona State, when it's there, when they're forechecking, when they're communicating, when they're playing as a team, they look pretty good. And I think that they can hang with teams like UNLV, these high-ranked teams, you know, and it's going to take a big win. It's going to take that effort before, you know, you kind of, it sets in, you realize, hey, you know, we're this good. You know, maybe we're not ranked where we could be outside the top 25, but, you know, we can hang with these really good teams, and they're going to have an opportunity again tomorrow to come out and prove that to themselves as well as everyone that's putting together the rankings.
For UNLV tonight, who really impressed you so far out there?
I think it was number 37, Turkoff. He had the second goal in the game, and I think he kind of led the way out of the gate for them and throughout the game, putting in a good effort, getting the puck deep, cycling, making some great passes. I mean, you can go down the list for UNLV because, you know, maybe they didn't have that scoring from the top lines like we were talking about, or the depth scoring, that is. But they really showed, I think, great chemistry. They really passed puck well, especially on the power play. You could see that. But I thought Turkoff overall was great. Maybe you can say the goaltender, Geisbrecht, he had a few really big saves when he needed to make them. You know, and it can be challenging for a goaltender if you don't see a lot of rubber in a game, those occasional saves that come after long periods of not seeing the puck. But overall, I think you got to give it to Turkoff. I just like the way he led the team tonight.
Well, partner, it was fun. We got to get a little bit of the dust off the cobwebs. This is our first game probably in, a month since last when they played GTU.
Over a month.
Yeah, and we appreciate everyone tuning in tonight on Arizona State Hockey YouTube, and reminding you that our next broadcast is tomorrow, Saturday the 20th, as we'll see these two teams battle it out again. UNLV, the number 9th ranked team in the nation, coming into Oceanside Ice Arena against Arizona State. Our broadcast will be starting at 6:30 p.m. And for Brett Vaughn and my partner, Niall Cooper, and for our studio engineer, Kira Vaughn, our on-site engineer, Justine Cooper. Our statistician tonight was Chad Nelson, and our cameraman tonight was Michael Wiggins from Temecula, California. I'm Brett Vaughn again, reminding you of tonight's final score. UNLV 3, Arizona State 2. Thank you for watching, and please come back tomorrow.